going on, guys? This is Fast Derek here in the Everett 328 Production Studios for Moto number 6 of the MotOHIO show here on February 26th, 2020. We've got the one and only Grip It, Rip It here in the studio. Kevin Ott, how's it going, man?
Good, Derek. Good, Derek. Good to be back.
Working on the audio, getting it all cranked up here.
I like it, man. I like it. And got a few things wrote down here. Got some good stuff to talk about tonight. Should be a really good show. I'm looking forward to it. And as always a good time talking about dirt bikes. Never fails.
Yes, sir, man. We've
Absolutely.
we've also got the one and only Jordan Beadling joining us here in the studio as well. I'm working on getting some stuff right in the right spots here on the screens. But we got Jordan Beadling joining us here in the studio as well. What's going on, Jordan?
Oh, just another day talking about dirt bikes, hanging out. Make sure you guys don't forget to talk about the flags this time.
Yes.
Flags.
Jordan, could you real quick spell that for us, please? Never mind. He's got it, I think, folks. Don't you worry.
We've got a ton of things to recap on. This past weekend, we were all at Summit Indoors for round number 2 of the Summit Indoor MX Series, and that was a heck of a show. That was a heck of a turnout for one. We had nearly 1,000 riders in attendance over the 2 days, and we had some.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, that's what's up.
It was
I
around
didn't know it was that many people. I know there was a bunch, but I didn't
400 or so, 300, 400 and some on Friday, and then 600 or so on Saturday. Then so it
That's
was
amazing.
nearly
That's
1,000
crazy.
riders is what we had. So it was an absolutely killer turnout this past weekend for round number 2 of the Summit Indoor MX Series. Once again, that's a Friday night and a Saturday night style race. It's a little bit different than a traditional quote arena cross that has things all day on Friday and Saturday. So it's very accommodating for the guys that have to work on Fridays.
It is, and not only that, but man, they do such a good job for being there's so many people. 60 motos, man. So I should have known that there was a lot of riders. But like you just got to think, like in the PW class, they're sending 10 riders home.
Yeah.
In that main event on Saturday night, that's a lot of riders.
It
that are
bums a
going
lot of
home.
guys out.
Well, that and then there's 14 of them on the line still. So that you're just looking like that's a heck of a turnout for sure.
Yeah.
Good hats off to Summit Arena Cross. They're doing a pretty good job up there.
Yeah. What'd you race this past weekend, Jordan?
125 plus 25. Friday night, 125 after a crazy battle with Zach LaHood. Me and him have been battling. At Summit. He's really picked it up. And
let me scroll down to some results here. Zach LaHood, he's a rider that's fairly local, Seville, so that's not too awful far away.
Just following in some of the footsteps, I think, from some people before in the family. So
it runs
it's
in
there.
the family.
It's there. So once he gets into that inner touch with that, it looks like he's gonna be a pretty good little rider. 2-stroke class, he did well too.
Yeah.
Yes, he did, rounding out the top 3 behind Talon Harper and Michael Shanley there on Friday night. One rider that I'm pretty impressed with is the X Machine coming out of Tiffin, Ohio, Doug Bowie. Doug Boy, I'm not really sure exactly how you pronounce his last name. I've seen him race on an 85cc machine and a super mini machine a lot out at Sandusky Valley Riders, and he's pretty impressive out there, and I haven't really seen him race too many, races outside of there. And, recently moving up to the 125cc machine, he's having some pretty impressive results.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've seen him riding up at, I believe I've seen him up at Ram Jam.
I'm sure.
So
He's looking really good. He rounded out the top 5 in that 125 class on Friday night. Looking out through some other results, Kevin, what'd you race there on Friday night?
Just the Vet 30 class, and finally I decided I did a little stepped up to the Pro class this weekend. Didn't do too shabby.
No, you didn't do bad at all, man. You had some pretty impressive results in that Open A main event there on Friday. Let me see if I can't scroll to the results.
You think you listen to all the bygones be bygones and say, oh, I won't be there, and I'm going to go here and there, and then they all still show up.
See, you took 7th place on Friday night and Saturday night, so that's pretty impressive results, Kevo.
Not bad.
I mean, we had some pretty stacked fields there both nights. It was kind of hit or miss. Maybe we'll have some guys, maybe we don't, because some guys may be going down there to race at Dallas for the Triple Crown.
That's it too. Yeah.
So there was some other things going on, and we drew riders in from Maryland. Justin Rodbell, the Prince Frederick, Maryland rider. I've seen him race some Tri-State Arena Cross races.
Super fast.
That dude was railing. I watched the one time
when he rode
catapult double and then the tabletop, and he rode through that berm and had to brake at the end of it.
He was going that fast.
He was going that fast, and it blew my mind.
He is insane.
He's scrubbing the tabletop to single.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cause I watched him come around one time, and it was just amazing to sit here and hear that 250F being right there on the track beside him.
Oh, he could make it talk.
You know, just so snappy, you know, and it was really fun watching him and definitely fun watching Steve on the 2-stroke, man. That was a really good time.
Yeah.
The 250A class.
Yeah.
I liked watching that. That was fun.
Steve Roman there in that 250A class, he was on the YZ250, and
dude, just made
he was the
man.
only pro rider on a 2-stroke all weekend, except for Jeremy Taylor. Jeremy Taylor was also on a 252-stroke.
Yeah.
He didn't have the results that he was hoping for. I did see that one of his hands was not the same size as the other at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, he definitely messed his hand up. I seen him in stock gym. Yeah, he was bummed out. I think he could have done better, but hey,
he was
you're gonna have that.
He was test riding the track as well for
Yep, he came up Wednesday night and tested the track, and when I watched him launch that tabletop to single, because me looking at it on 125, I was like, I don't know, man. He launched it, and I went and talked to him, and he said he was hitting that in third gear on his YZ250, and I mean, we had a pretty good rut coming out on Wednesday even, and he was reeling that, and I was like, hey, you hitting that in second? And he goes, no, that's third gear, and I was like, never mind. Yeah, I'm good.
It's pretty well WFO on a 252 stroke to get that thing.
It's a long ways, dude.
It's up there too.
Well, and you're up there because I sized it up a few times because I know pretty much on my 450 if I hit it as fast as I can hit it, I would probably made it. But I was like, dude, I'm up there, man. I
was talking to Bobby on practice or during practice on Saturday, and he was saying that Jeremy Taylor was thinking that a guy on a 450 may be able to huck the whole thing.
Yeah.
We never did see that happen, and I'm actually kind of
Wells would have been the only one would have been the
we talked about it on Wednesday, and that's John Wells is the one name that we all said. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Wells.
I don't think it would be possible.
I'm actually kind of happy that I didn't see anybody attempt it because if you wouldn't have made it cleanly, it wouldn't have been pretty.
No,
dude, because you're going to bounce and you're going to be in the stands because you're going to have so much speed. You're going to be really messed up real quick. But.
Just to wrap up some results.
That one's for you to read.
All right, I will be. Thank you, Mr. Farmer. I'll be touching base on that in just a couple of moments, because that's huge news. Because that's not very far for us Northeast Ohio guys. Really, realistically,
that's not far at all.
That's not far at all. So we'll make some huge announcements here in just a little bit. Wrapping up with some results from Summit there on Friday night. Steve Roman, we already mentioned it. He was looking pretty killer in the 250A class, where he was able to round out the top three. Not exactly the results that Roman was hoping for in that 250A class on Friday. Jason McConnell was pretty well on fire all weekend. He was hitting his starts.
Real smart.
Yes, he was
smooth all weekend. Definitely did.
McConnell, he only took the second place position in that 250 Pro class behind Rod Bell. Rod was, he was
kind of got hung up a little bit in that start, and Justin broke away a second, and then they could never reel him back in.
So Rod Bell, I've seen him race the Tri-State Arena Cross Series, a couple races here and there, and he's been absolutely killer. But tough break for him on Saturday evening in the main event in that Open A class.
Yeah, getting crossed up. Watched it right in front of me. They kind of tangled, and then he just kind of. Like whiskey throttled and laid on the gas, you know what I'm saying, and it just kind of just slung him into the face of that jump, and he just bashed his hip. Scroll
down to some results. That was that'd have been the number 118 of Chris Williams got tangled up with Justin Rodbell over the catapult double jump, and it was just yard sale, just whoosh.
Yeah, he was gone, man. It was just a crappy turn of events.
Yeah. And Rod Bell, tough break for him when he had a DNF. Actually, it ended up being a DNS in that case because it happened on the first lap. He never completed a full circuit around the race course for him to get a, quote, finishing position. So it's considered a did not start.
Oh, okay. So I wonder why I said that.
That is,
but he did start.
That is an OMA, and actually it's an AMA rule as well, because you'll see some riders in the AMA Pro Nationals receive DNSs that fell down in the first turn that were not able to complete the rest of the race. They still get a DNS.
Wow.
Even though they lined up, they didn't complete a full lap around the racetrack.
That makes sense.
So
yeah, I get it.
I was asking,
or at least get past, seeing the checker flag part.
Yep.
I mean, that's
because
I was
asking the question to Tower Gal Connie inside the sign-up building, and she showed me the rule in the OMA rule book, and then she also referred to the AMA rule book as well for that, because I seen a couple of riders that I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. He started, like, quote, he started, he came off the gate, he started the race. But she's like, no, he didn't complete a full circuit around the racetrack. So that's the rule. So
That's awesome.
That's a quick side note. We'll flags. We're gonna touch on flags.
That's a good thing to know, though, because that kind of goes with flags. I mean, it's
Exactly.
It's a good topic.
Yeah. Let's wrap up on Friday real quick. Let's before we get too carried away. Kevo, you look killer in that plus 30 class or in that plus 30 class.
Yeah, man, it was really fun. They had us with some
the plus 25 class, I think, raced with you on
yeah,
Friday.
they had us
Plus
with the plus
25.
25 with us that time, and it was a great time. I mean, I had Talon, a couple guys right behind
Yeah.
me, and it was just good pace.
Yeah,
It was fun.
Talon Harper nearly led that whole plus 25 class, but he came in contact with TJ Kretzler there on that final lap.
Yeah.
Just before the finish line.
Just a little bit, and that's how it goes.
You were able to lead that thing from gate drop to checkers, though.
Yeah, I had to go.
Golf clap.
Yep.
Congratulations, Kevo. That
Yeah,
was pretty convincingly took the checker
The
flag in the race
450.
win.
Once you get some clean air out front, man, it's really easy just to put in log. And you just log your laps. That's
Yeah.
just all I was
Yeah,
going
he's
for
lucky that I spun out. Otherwise,
I
I'd be out
did.
there.
Spun it out. Yeah.
Let's just rewind to some of the 50cc classes because the shaft drive class on Friday
Stacked up, man.
was stacked. Yeah, the 50cc Open was no joke as well because everybody on Friday was strictly main events. You sign up, practice, main event. That's
Yep.
it.
You get to race.
That's just the way it is. You get to race on Fridays. Everybody got to race for a plaque on Friday, and on Saturday was the big old 4-foot 7-inch trophy because you
That's
measured
it,
it
man.
from bottom to top.
It's crazy. Yeah, I did 4 foot 7.
It's not a 4-foot trophy. It was a 4-foot 7-inch trophy. So
Yeah,
that was
to the
a,
top of the little dude, to the top of his helmet, 4 foot 7 inches.
so
I was amazed too. It was taller than camera.
I'm actually not even going to touch on any of the results for the 50cc classes on Friday because that's not really going to give you a good idea on who was the fastest rider because it's not combining all the groups.
Well,
So we're just going to
right,
kind of
you have so many groups.
we'll
man.
just touch
Yeah.
on Saturday's results for a lot of the people, but the big talk for Summit, single-handedly the big talk for Summit across the board is you know it, I know it. Everybody comes across the country to race pit bikes at Summit.
That's it. I mean, and it seems like they got a good turnout. You know what I'm saying? Both days, I'd say.
118
is that good?
entries is what I seen posted for
Really,
Friday night.
for Friday.
good? Okay.
I know that it was even more than that for Saturday
Oh, yeah,
because
for sure.
Saturday increases the turnouts, and we were able to see some super fast local riders racing for Wholesale Cycle on those Piranha machines. Michael McDade as well as Zach Ames were clicking off laps
Riding those things.
and just flying.
And
like
just,
those guys
and
were
just
fast.
the track was really set up for like a pit bike style, style because like the whoops you could I guarantee you'd be able to double through those on any pit bike almost, it seems like. Just would
Yeah.
be just perfect going through there, so smooth.
Looking at the results, Zach Ames took the race win in the Pit Bike L Group 2 on Friday night. Cody Scott took the Group Number 1 main event win. He's out of Mount Vernon, Ohio, also on one of those Piranha machines. And
Yeah.
the
That guy
third
in
group,
third place in Group 1 from France.
yeah, Clement Bijot, the rider out of France. He's just out of France. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that town. I mean, I'm pretty good at. I
Two
took
of 'em.
French 1 and 2 in high school, but I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. So he's Clement Bijot came out of France to race on those TCB USA pit bikes, and
Yeah.
those things are sick.
Because the company's actually
what hotel
from
did he
France.
stay at?
I
You
don't
know
know.
what I mean? Like that's
They were over
amazing. I
here
didn't
hanging
know
out
that.
with McCoy Shine and
Yeah,
his
McCoy
mechanic.
actually ended up taking the main event win in the money class on one of those TCB USAs. I was surprised to see McCoy come out here to race because I swear I've seen on his social media like
He did.
last month after
He
Summit.
answered my comment and said that he was done racing and he retired.
Why? That's
Obviously not.
Why would you retire if you're taking the main event wins in the money class on
I think his
one of the
was-
best pit bikes made?
He's had some bad accidents and had some scary hospital visits, so I think that kind of played into it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's I think it's hard to say because I've
It's-
never been in that situation. Knock on
You're
wood.
right.
I don't want to be there.
You're right. I don't want to be
So-
either. But McCoy Shine, killer results and killer
And
performance.
He rides a big bike just as well. I mean,
He does.
the dude's fast.
We've seen him line up for some nationals or try
the
to qualify.
125. I knew he did the 125
Yes,
All-Star. And
you're
got
right.
Third, I believe.
At a High Point, I
Yeah.
think. Like
That's
the
pretty
dude,
good.
the dude
That's
can
slick.
ride.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No joke. McCoy Shine can twist the gas and haul that.
I mean, even
that
if
stuff.
you're on pit bikes just to finish in front of those guys that you did. I mean, Mike McDade, that's
Yeah.
another guy can twist and throttle, and Zach Ames and
Bailey
whoever.
Lunsford, I was
That's
really
a good
impressed.
job. Good job for him. Yeah.
Pretty impressed with Bailey Lunsford. I'm pretty sure he races the B class, like 250B, maybe Open
Yeah, I
B.
think usually he does.
And he's a top contender in that class, but when you throw him on the mini cycle, he can be right up there towards the top. And he's
For
out
sure.
there on one of those Thump Stars. So those are, I think the Thump Stars actually come out of Australia. That's where it's based. Like
I
all
think you
these,
might be right.
all these pit bikes kind of have an original base, and the TCBs are based out of France. Thump Stars are based out of Australia, and
Okay.
Piranha is based out of Akron, pretty much. So it's awesome to represent some of these local pit bike brands, and we've seen that Piranha brand up on top of the top step of the podium quite frequently. And we've had riders come all the way, that right there, Adam Garcia coming out of Salida, California. So we've had riders out of California, New York, Michigan, Ohio, of course, Pennsylvania. Where else we have riders coming out of New York, of course. Again, I just said that one. There's riders everywhere just to race these pit bikes. At Summit.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's
New
such
Jersey,
a fun,
there we go.
It's so much fun to watch sometimes too. Like those guys hitting the jumps and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun. Just
I'm
like
telling
watching
you,
those
I've
guys.
rode mod pit bikes. I used to have one.
Yeah, I bet.
And
it's a good time.
It's hard to control
I
because
bet.
you're so big on the little bike.
Yeah.
Any little movement in that whole bike it's wish-washy.
Well, see, we was riding the ones down there at 62, and I could feel it. Like
Yeah.
it was really spinny and really
And
really hard to control. It was
See,
all
and
That's
riding,
just a
it's
140.
Riding, it's fine. When you try to jump them, that's what got me.
Yeah. I looked at a couple of YouTube videos of people doing some helmet cams on some pit bikes, and I'm not. It looked kind of sketch. It looked kind of sketch
good time.
once you leave the air, and the first instinct to me is to put the foot out there,
And you do that, and then you start leaning over. And then you're laying
and
sideways.
you're just worsening the problem. Mm-hmm. So
you think it's small enough to where you can put your foot out, but actually you've caught too much air.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
But those 190s, I had a chance to ride one of those Piranha 190s, and the torque curve on those things are insane. You crack the gas and you're just turning to the right. Doesn't matter if you're turning out of a left-hand bowl turn and you crack the gas. That thing's still turning to the right. It's
Wow,
crazy.
That's cool.
They're fun.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of figuring it out, finding the
wanna
right
rip
gear.
I'd like to rip a 190 because I did
Absolutely.
that 140 at Jimmy's, and that one thing was
Yeah.
a beast, dude. It was a lot of fun.
Speaking
It
of
was.
pit bikes, we're going to touch on that at 62.
I don't need
that.
It's coming up.
You got the notes. I don't need to
I
take
got
any
some
more.
stuff over here. Yeah.
That's really about all the more I want to touch
that
on
was
Friday.
at 30.
Summit.
I mean, that was Friday Summit.
We're rolling straight into Saturday Summit right
because
now.
like you said, Friday's really.
Friday's just the opening act, we'll say, because Saturday's where it really
Look
all
at
matters.
that class. What class was that? All Yamahas. Every one of
the
them's
shaft
Yamaha.
drive.
Yeah, that's
Of
awesome.
course.
I was just like, wait a minute. That looked awesome.
Pretty much every single class had to qualify for the main event on Saturday. Didn't matter if it was all the way from the 50
Tell you what,
shaft
yeah,
all the
'cause
way to the
Vet 30 on Friday night. There was 2 guys.
Vet 30 on Friday.
And
Yes.
then Saturday night, at least there was like 5 of us, I think. I was
Yeah.
like, sweet,
Yeah.
thank goodness. You know what I mean? Because it kind of gets boring. You know what I mean? Like, I want to race someone.
Yeah, you want to line up against somebody and not race the plus
It's-
25 guys.
It's just kind of nice to go to the first turn and know that we're all after the same event. You know what I mean? Like, because I think were we by ourselves then?
On Saturday, you were with the plus 50 guys.
Okay, yeah, we were just senior 50.
I remember. I mean, you're my guy, dude. I know which races you were with.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, number 5 in that. Well, we'll get there.
Yes, we will.
He was a beast.
Owen Salomon, like that kid was looking good. And on Saturday,
He's figuring it out.
he took the main event win in that 50cc junior class. He finished in 5th in the shaft drive class at Loretta's last year. So he's transitioning those results onto the 50cc junior machine. And yeah, pretty single-handedly,
Good job.
taking the main event win.
Yeah.
Joey Snyder looking pretty impressive as well. Rider out of Kent, Ohio. So he didn't have to travel very far to race at Summit. He went 4-2, 4th place in his heat race and 2nd place in the main event. So that's killer results. Weston Larson rounding out your top 3 in the 50 junior class. So that's, killer results.
Right.
50cc senior class. This is where we've seen Rhett, and Rhett did make it to the main event. He was looking good. he's seen some better results.
It always takes him just a little bit longer to get going. Saturday, he seems to always do a little bit better. He gets the nerves shaken off because he's the first one. This is his first year in the senior.
Yes.
So he's just getting his feet wet up there, and these kids are all older than him, and everybody. I mean, you got Doak in there. Alexander's ripping.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, he's
Flying on his
He's hard to beat,
He's
period.
Just, and it's just hard to ride up there with those guys. So I like the way he's going, and Rhett's his form's getting a lot better, and his starts are getting a little bit better now. We got a whole shot device for him, and
Uncle Kevin's a good teacher.
We're trying, man. I try to talk to him. I try
Alexander,
not to be too hard on him. That's the thing.
Alexander Doak, a local rider right out of Mogadore, Ohio, on that
1-1.
factory Cobra machine, just
1-1.
just killing it. He's looking good indoors, outdoors, and Alexander Doak, pretty sure he races some of the GNCC races, so he is used
Dad's
to.
a good rider.
He's used to putting in the time on the seat. And then whenever it comes to lining up for a motocross race, he can pretty much dominate
got that
it.
little place wherever they go ride at. It's like kind of like Cinders or something. Like you see.
Yeah,
him
they
just
go
ripping,
to Jimmy Woodford's.
and it's not too muddy, And I seen him and Alex, and his dad riding with him, and he ain't nothing. He's always something whenever he lines up in the Vet 30 class.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So
I've rode with him
that's it.
before.
Yeah, he does a good job as
Yes,
well.
he does. Colin Schaefer, Canton, Ohio-based rider in the number 2 spot, won his heat race, second place in the main event, and Uriah Messersmith rounding out the top 3 on that number 79 KTM, looking pretty impressive. 5th place in his heat race. That's 2 separate divisions, finishing 5th in his heat race, but putting it down whenever the main event's on the line, crossing the finish line in 3rd place.
Awesome
That's
job.
awesome.
Really, really good job. Way to bounce back. Not let that deter you.
Exactly.
Not let that get you down.
'Cause coming
It's such a
across the
young
stripe-
mindset,
In 5th in your heat race, that's pretty
Kinda feel scrappy. You know what I'm saying? You're rolling to the gate late. You know what I mean? You got so many people going in front of you. That always sucks. It always messes my mind up. I'm like, Jesus. Then I feel I might as well just have the computer pick for me. Again, Kev, you ain't get no better start and get no going better than this.
Looking back here, we've got 50cc shaft drive class, like you just said. Every person's on a 50cc Yamaha machine, so pretty evenly matched class here. Reed Nicholas, them Nicholas boys, they're gonna get me. They're gonna get me all the way until I'm done announcing. I swear.
Don't worry, they'll be zooming forever.
And
this one here is an aggressive little zoomer.
Reed Nicholas, finishing in the number 7 position on the number 7 machine. So
this is the mini Millersburg Missile. Cole Zollers is his number 1 favorite guy, because they're both number 7.
that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So looking, we've got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and 24 riders signed up in that 50cc shaft drive class,
Crazy.
whittling it down to
They can only
14.
take about half of them, yeah.
So they had to take out 10 riders. 10 riders did not make it to the main event, and we've got some pretty good names that didn't make it to the main event, like especially that guy right there. Pretty surprised to see Race Manley not making it to the main event in that 50cc shaft drive class. Tough break for him.
The thing about it,
Cameron
is 'cause
Gray.
it's just they're so small yet. Those are the little
Those are little
brothers
guys.
of the other guys,
Yep.
And just because Reed's the little brother, the little guy, most of I think. I guess Carter's up in the senior. Is he in the senior class?
Yeah, Carter's strictly in the senior class now.
Okay, so I guess they're getting.
I'm pretty sure it's like only the second year Carter's been racing.
Beckett's
He's good.
still in junior. And he's still riding small bikes.
Yeah, Beckett
Utz, he's really doing good.
went 1-1 heat race main event win. Owen Salomon
1-2.
pulling those results right back, and 1-2 results, and Reed Beverly going 2 in his heat race and rounding out your top 3 in the main event. So that's pretty.
Beckett just torturing that PW.
Yeah.
Donnie's gonna be welding on that thing. He's gonna have to try to keep it together.
50cc open class, much of the same that we seen earlier in the senior class. Alexander Doak main event win. Colin Schaefer slipping back to the number 3 position.
Right.
But Brayson Hendren, the number 345 KTM, pretty good. 4th place in his heat race, exactly like before with that number 97 machine, 79 machine, Uriah Messersmith.
Right.
4th place in his heat race, but putting the power down to the ground and coming across the stripe in 2nd in the open class. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's we got a little bit better start time. Rhett woke up and got a top 5 at least. He got 5th on that one, so good job for him.
Landon Yunker pretty single-handedly took the main event win in that 65
He took the
junior
whole
class.
weekend.
Yeah, he was good. To say the
real
least, he
good.
was real good. 65 junior and open class main event wins on Saturday. Rolling down here. 85 senior class, John Paul Kish. That kid can barely touch the ground. He can go fast on the 85cc machine and the pit bike.
Dude, I love watching him ride the pit
So
bike.
cool.
Oh, it's
Oh
awesome.
my gosh.
And
It's
so
so
He's
cool to
he's
watch
aggressive.
Watch him
Yes.
in the schoolboy class on his 80. That was awesome.
Yeah,
to
that
watch.
was
Yes.
cool
He
too.
was in open B. He's running like
I want to see John Paul Kish line up with Gavin Brumfield, number
Yeah.
021 that races the Tri-State Series.
Oh,
Both
yeah, they'd be
pretty
fun.
short-statured kids.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Gavin's got a year or two on John Paul, but I think that would be a
I'd say what,
pretty
the little
impressive
number
race.
7 machine right there on the.
That's
on
gonna be
the
a good one.
YZ80 was a really good rider. He did.
Yeah,
He did
he
a
rides
tremendous
really
job.
well.
Yes, he
I
does.
love watching him, especially up at Ram Jam, the pit bike race. Man, it's so cool watching him ride because he's out there. Most of the guys that ride pit bikes now are
They're bigger. Fellas.
Big.
they're
Yeah.
all bigger fellas, or they're older racers.
Yes.
Right.
And watching him out there battle with those guys, being how small he is.
So he
Is-
can make the bike go fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
no
it
joke.
just kills me watching him ride. It's
He's
awesome.
awesome. 85 senior class, John Paul Kish, number 1 over Evan Pape, number 2, and Bobby Martinkovich. There we go, rounding out your top 3 on number 17
Right.
KTM. So that's pretty cool. That's a rider coming out of Coraopolis, Pennsylvania. I'm not really sure exactly how you say that one. Solid finish for Joseph DeBolt. They're in the number 4 position. Rolling down here, Dozer, Lawrence Kerman. He had the start on Saturday in that super mini class. He was
Dude,
very
he's riding
impressive.
Such a great ride.
He
man,
is.
For just a guy who just kind of
I wanna race-
zooms around and gives high fives and really keeps a smile on his face. Hats off to him.
Yes.
I mean, he's really riding good.
He ripped the whole shot in that super mini class on Saturday, and he
He led it for a little bit, didn't
he did. He led it for a lap or so.
The young man, number 7 machine, is a quick fella.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. John Paul Kish was able to take the best of Kerman, taking the main event win. Bobby Martinkovich, huge shout out to you, rounding out your top 3 in that super mini class. Rolling down here, Wyatt Shockley coming out of retirement to race in that schoolboy class. You only see him race maybe a handful of races during the year, but Wyatt, he is a hell of a pitcher when it comes to high school baseball. So
Oh, yeah?
I've seen that,
that's-
yeah.
That'd be sweet.
that's kind of why he races when it's fun and quote safe for him. He knows
Yeah.
whenever there's a lot of risk versus reward ratio where it could put his baseball career at risk. So I do pride Wyatt
Oh, no,
in
I get
staying active.
But there's your little John Paul Kish guy again.
Yep,
You got
fifth
fifth and
place
fifth.
in
schoolboy.
schoolboy on
Yes.
an 85.
Connor Ciro, number 2 place in that schoolboy class, and Talon Thompson rounding out your top 3 on that number 63 KTM. Shout out Talon Thompson was racing that flat track based pit bike in the pit
I
bike
did
class.
see that. I didn't know
That
who
thing
it
was pretty cool.
I think it was cool.
So rolling down through here, Beeling didn't have your night on Saturday, rounding out your top 3 in the 125 class behind LaHood. You guys were battling throughout the weekend.
Yeah, and I was going to try and make a pass on Neely at the end after the catapult
That's
for a
right.
tabletop. I kind of bumped him a little bit, and he went off the track, and I spun
LaHood
out. And
snuck
LaHood,
right.
He was right there. He was in the perfect position. I mean,
You got to be there to capitalize on all those mistakes.
there's
So,
a lot
yeah.
of races where if I'm battling for second place, I'd rather be in third, or if I'm battling for the lead, I'd rather be in second.
Yep.
Because then
You can stick the nose in there.
Yeah, you can control the race at the end and make the move to where otherwise you have to ride defensive. And
We've seen that happen to Talon a lot over the weekend. Talon
Yeah.
was leading a lot of his classes, and then the second
get a
place
little
rider
spot, yeah.
was right there to
That's it.
capitalize and
Yep.
just pressure him into making a mistake, which just so
Or
happened.
he would just leave the door open just that
Or
one
that.
instant and just not think nothing was going to happen, and bam,
bam.
it got closed.
Yep.
yep,
Yeah,
That's
buddy,
all it takes.
happened.
and that's how it is with indoors. I mean,
It
you
is too.
have
It's
to
so
be
it's so on off.
when
I
you're
mean,
up front, you have to ride defensive, and that's what I was telling LaHood all
It gets
weekend
rough,
as
yeah.
I was racing with him. I'm like, look, dude, like. You have to ride defensive. You gotta protect those insides. If you leave that inside open for a split second,
Someone's taking it.
somebody's taking it, and you're gonna get the bad end of the stick.
Yep.
And right there, prime example, there he was. He was
Yep.
right behind me. And Neely, that when I went for the move, made the mistake, it cost me, and he capitalized. And I'm proud to see that he was listening to me and his dad, because me and his dad were both harping on him. Like, you got to protect those insides.
And he did it to you.
And he did it, and there it was.
It's either that or you could get lucky. You know, like I would get lucky, and for like usually when I would do the whole shot, I would do the double.
Yeah.
And a couple people wouldn't do it, and then I'd squirt away for just a second. And then when you guys are all battling, fighting insides, I'm just zooming. You know, and that that's where you get lucky. But if not, I would have to just stay in the inside and dead inside and just be careful.
Shout out to the Ginger Mullet, Trevor Miller, right out of Louisville,
Yeah,
Ohio.
that's what I want to say too. He got top five. Yeah,
Top 5. That's
Jacob
pretty killer.
Jacob Bilton getting that 7th. He's really coming around.
Yes, he is.
Jake's really getting to be a good little rider. Him and his dad.
Let's roll down through here. Carson Neely was able to back up those results in the 2-stroke class, taking the main event win over Michael Shanley, who was looking super fast over the weekend.
He's been doing real good on that. That's the number 26.
Yes.
Yeah, he rides his bike real well. I told him that too when I was walking by.
And Dallin Thompson rounding out your 2-stroke top 3. Women's main event, Megan Marker, she was killing it all weekend.
Doing that catapult double in the middle all night and all day, and that's awesome.
That sets her apart from the rest of the pack.
For sure.
Rolling down to the rest of some of these results, Michael Shanley was able to back up those 2-stroke bike results in the college boy class over Jarrett Greer. Shanley's a B-class rider. Jarrett Greer is a C-class rider. So Jarrett Greer coming into this main event knowing that he isn't the same classified rider as Shanley, knowing that in the back of his head, he's hoping to try to get the best of that rider.
Yep,
and he was keeping him honest all weekend. So Jarrett Greer and Cody Andrews, those guys were battling all weekend hard.
Yeah, they really were.
They were
man.
battling.
And that's
no joke.
And that's good to see. That they're really trying and taking full advantage of all the classes that are out there.
Yes.
Because they'll be fine. They're not going to go. I mean, they're riding really well, but they're going to have their hands full at a C class event that's someplace of seriousness,
Yeah.
or wherever. I think I believe Jared will be headed to the Futures race out there, and
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
he's gonna have to really hammer down there, and I look forward to it because
he
he's
won that
riding.
one he went to.
He's riding extremely well.
Plus 25 class, Beetle Sting, you were able to round out your top 3 behind
That's
Justin
it.
Johnson. It was looking pretty good.
Yep.
And Derek Steele, haven't seen him race in quite a little bit of time. Good to see him back in action.
Yeah, he was
that's
out
cool.
near the end of the year at Malvern. I seen
Here
him.
and there.
And he rode the first summit, and you could tell first summit he wasn't his normal self, and this summit he was. I mean, and he was kind of the same situation. He was there to capitalize.
Yep.
Me and Johnson kept battling back and forth, and Derek reeled us in, and then he got around us and rode his race.
Talon wasn't able to make the best of it. He took the heat race win earlier in the day, but wasn't able to back it up in that plus 25 main event.
Fourth place in your.
I think he wrecked or something.
Yeah, something happened in that plus 25 class. I'm not sure exactly what the
A
dealio
lot of guys
was.
in there though. You guys had a good
Yeah.
chunky gate.
You had a pretty good gate in that plus 30 class, and you were pretty able to take the main event win. Got one of those 4'7"ers again.
Yeah, what kind of was crazy is I got into some lappers pretty quick, and man, it diminished my lead fast.
Yeah,
That's-
you were-
damn,
Yeah, dude. I was
Dude,
watching,
I got
was
nervous.
Like,
I was like,
Kev.
shit, I can hear him. I heard Betty coming. I was like, oh no. Because the dude was wobbling around and about, like, almost fell down in front of me. So I was like, ooh, I cautioned up even a little bit too much. And then
Mark
like,
Beamer
oh,
was right there.
Yeah, so that was.
Plus
that
50
was,
rider is no joke on the weekend.
yeah,
And
number 5. What was his name?
Mark Beamer,
Yeah, he did a good job.
he did a very good job. He was second
Old
place.
school 252 stroke? Was that an old school? Okay, or was that just an older 450?
Beamer was on a 450.
Yeah.
Rodney Gabriel, the number 577, he was on that old school CR 250.
Okay, yeah, that thing was sweet.
He
yeah.
typically races a CR 500, but I'm pretty sure he kept the CR 500 in the stable house back in Pennsylvania and brought out the 252 stroke for the indoor race, which I don't fault him.
Yeah.
That was actually Denver Ormiston's bike.
No joke. Was that really?
Yes.
Awesome.
I did see that. Denver let him race it.
I did.
Even Rodney posted and said, he did his best out there for Denver. So that was
is.
cool.
I did see Denver bring that bike out of storage, so I didn't even know that Rodney was racing that. So
Yep. He let Rodney race it.
That's pretty kick-ass. I'll say that. That's pretty badass. So, awesome. Rodney Gabriel in the number 2 spot in that plus 50 class. 1-2 shoes. Ben Ballantyne single-handedly took the plus 40 class win. He's pretty young in that plus 40 class, so he is going to
stepping up there this year. There's going to be a lot of guys that have their hands full with him.
We were talking about that last night off the microphones, Kevin. That
I was talking to him, and he's pretty much he's going to be the guy to beat in that class because he's got a pretty good handle on what he's doing on that CR.
Jason Rogers races that plus 40 class, and
Chris Opliger
and Pape. So this is going to be a pretty
Rich
interesting.
Silvers.
Ben races week in, week out. He's week in, week out on the gate. He's always at the racetrack. So
that's
he's
his practice. That's how he rolls with it.
So
fine.
that's why he's going to keep those big name plus 40 riders honest this year.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's always going to be racing me in the vet 30 class. He'll always be in there with me. He's never going to stop chasing me around. I know it.
So Two Shoes.
I just know it.
Two Shoes is going to be tough in that plus 40 class throughout the year. Throwing out the rest of the weekend, Rod Bell was able to take the Saturday night main event in that 258 class. So he backed up the Friday night main event win in that 250 class on Saturday. So that's awesome. Looking at the pro class, McConnell. Yep. Jason McConnell was pretty consistent all weekend long.
He did real well. You know,
He rode real well. Had an awesome
start. To just stay out in front of Steve Roman. That's especially on Steve Suzuki and his 450 where he's comfortable. You know, I mean,
I want to
really
say
McConnell
won every single one of his heat races. I want to say that.
I think you're right.
So he was up there all night. No joke.
So that's always setting that precedent. You know what I mean? Everyone knows that if you're going to knock him off, you're going to have to knock him off.
Yes.
You're not just going to you know what I mean? Just
it's not
eat
going to
a
make
sandwich.
it easy. Yeah.
No, he's here for business, and he meant it, dude. He did a really good job.
J-Mac, Steve Roman, James Justice putting that 250F
Just
up on the podium in that Open A
just
class.
Got enough juice out of that thing, man. He's using everything he's got.
Yeah,
Yes.
he kind of struggled off the starts. I feel like he
Yes.
never had a really great
He started right
start.
beside me one time, and it just seems like that. It just he can't. It's just a 250.
Yeah,
It's just not pulling in that open
even
class.
me on pump gas, you know, I don't have the built 450s like, you know what I mean, to my left, you know,
Yeah,
like
but
these
you
guys
still-
do,
you have
and
the
I don't even have to. I'm just like, I'm kind of chuckling as I go down through there because I'm not even really trying to race him to the first turn, but I'm like, I'm gonna beat you. You know what I mean? Like, cause like it's just the bike, cause they're like I said, the body English is going, they're moving up and back and banging gears, and like Rod Bell was on this side of me, and I was just chuckling. I was like, gosh, these little bikes are so slow.
Yeah,
That's it. They're slow.
I know how they feel.
The 250s are slow, man.
Lining up in plus 25
on a
125, and
Yeah.
everybody else on 450s
It's like
or
when I get to-
252 stroke.
Because that's like when I hit the vet class, that's when I know, I mean, that's when I shoot. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to start.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when I execute my start. So I'm just like, man, if I would do that, I would be right there in it. Like, I was in there a couple times, didn't even mean to be, but the 450 just makes it happen. I fire that thing off the line in second gear with that 6-inch drop in the front. 'Cause
You're gone.
That whole shot device, yeah. It's a good time.
J-Mac, number 2 position behind Rod Bell in that 250A
Riding
class.
good,
And Steve Roman out there on that 252 smoke, making that thing talk, making
Dude,
it bark in that
sweet.
250 class, rounding out your top
sounding.
3. Let's try to wrap up with some of these big bike results. 250B class, Zach Dobbs on a Team Green Kawasaki machine was smoking this weekend. He
Just come down for these couple rounds here at Summit. You know what I mean? He was at the January one. He's at the February one. I think just something to do. You know,
Lancaster,
to just
New York.
have some fun, and he sure does have some fun because this 250B and Open B was his all week.
Yes. Bailey Lunsford out of Wadsworth, Ohio, putting that Honda machine in the number 2 position ahead of Harley Lucas. And you were mentioning Harley Lucas a couple of weeks ago, riding with him and looking good.
Yeah, well, he was there Thursday for practice.
Yes, that's
and
what it was.
We were pitted kind of side by side. Man, dude, just riding smooth and hitting his
Yes.
marks and really riding well.
Very much so. In that 250C class, there's Jarrett Greer and Cody Andrews battling for the main event win.
Back and forth.
Yes,
yeah.
they were all night on Saturday. And Cody Andrews got the best of Greer in the 250C class, but in the College Boy class and the other class where they raced together, maybe in the Open C class.
I believe so.
Well, which
yeah.
class did Greer wreck in, though? Greer had that nasty wreck that brought out the red flag.
Ooh,
I
you are
believe.
right. Let's we'll scroll
be
through the
there
rest of
in a
these
minute.
results.
But
We've already
Zach
seen
LaHood third. That's good.
Yes. In that Open A class, we've already touched base on those. There we go in the Open B class. Dobbs, Lucas, and Justin Johnson rounding out your top 3 riders we already talked about. Open C class, this is the one that we've seen.
Yep.
This is where Jarrett Greer took that nasty spill. He was battling with Andrews the whole race, battling, and then
Went for the
whack.
outside move on the whoops,
Whoops.
was skimming them and just missed the top of one, and that front end fell in there, and it was all cattywampus from there.
See,
Yep.
I was wondering what happened. I didn't get to see it. I just seen him on the track and get him walk by.
He
jumped
slapped the
in.
face of a whoop.
He jumped in, and then as he got to skimming, he just missed one. It sat all the way down in and just rode him up on the front end, and it was on for the ride after that. He was getting bucked.
It was basically a Cooper Webb, but at Summit.
Oh,
And
Summit
it
scale.
scale.
It just twisted his bar quick sideways,
Yeah.
and he just folded himself over. But he hit hard.
Yep.
Yeah, he got folded pretty good.
It was Cody Andrews over Jonathan Franco and Drew Moreland rounding out your top 3 rider coming right out of Denison, Ohio. So
Yeah, good stuff.
T-County boy putting it up there on the top 3. ATV 50 class, the Jackson boys looking pretty good in the number 1 and 3 position with Gavin Hankinson splitting them. Wampy shredding in the ATV C class over Carson Broska. Vinny Marinucci in the ATV 90 class over Brenton Irwin. Back in action in the ATV Super Mini class, taking the main event win over Evan Brace. Marinucci did.
Right.
Wampy back in the number 4 position, or 3 position, excuse me. Get a DNS there for some reason. Not sure exactly what happened there in the Super Mini class. But down through some more results. ATV B class, Colton Shuda. There was some controversy going on with him in that ATV B class. I'm not even going there, but he was able to take the main event win over Cody Hall with Dash Morris back in the number 3 position.
I thought he rode the pro bike. I thought he rode
Shuda?
Yeah.
May have been the open class. It may have been the open class. That's what it was. A little bit of controversy going on in the ATV open class with Shuda, where he took the main event win over Jonathan Viscus and Tyler Calhoun, running out your top 3.
Who won your ATVA?
ATVA was Dylan McClellan.
Oh, okay.
Over
He didn't ride
Travis
open
Brown.
class.
No. Reason why there's some controversy is because of that right there. Just coming in to race the main event.
Which is weird.
Yes.
We won't get into that.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not anybody. I'm just the announcer. You're just
He's not anybody.
You're just a racer.
Because what's weird is he rode a heat race for the other one.
yeah.
Gotcha. Right on.
I'm not going there. Anyhow, Jonathan Fiskus, ATV vet main event win over Travis Brown with Guy Sutton in the number 3 spot. This is what's crazy at Summit. Not only did they get pit bikes, but they get
3-wheel minis.
3-wheelers.
And they're minis.
And the little ATC 70 guys. Zero suspension, just 70 cc's
Like
of
go get a square bale and bring
they
it to
get
the
out
barn. Little 3-wheelers. You know
I
what
watched
mean?
a couple of them
snack
get out of
bags.
control and get away from the rider.
Yeah.
Just try and hold
Hilarious.
them up out of the air so they weren't touching.
They had
It's
a
funny
total
when they crash them.
of 12 mini 3-wheelers coming
That's
to race indoors. So that's pretty crazy. Devin Wendorf coming out of Montpelier. We'll say that. Montpelier, Ohio, taking the
Sounds
main
good.
event win over Garrett Cantwell with Max Hall, running out your top 3. In the Pit Bike L class, this is all just split up into 3 separate main events, just like it is on Friday night.
Yep.
But on the open money class is where it all comes together. Zach Ames taking the Pit Bike L main over Bailey Lunsford and Mike McDade in Group 1, Mike Dietrich, Nick Maiden, Mark Mattingly in Group 2.
I love you, Dietrich, but you lucked out with having that Group 1 stacked up like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Look at
he
you.
did.
You got
Yes.
lucky. You know you got lucky. I know
And
you
not being in the group with
Yeah.
Peters and Scott. 'cause
Right.
those two
So,
are no-
wham, bam, thank you, man. You got all 5 of your heavy hitters in a couple different groups.
Yeah.
That's a slick rig.
And Clement Bijot is also in that Pit Bike Group number
Right.
3, rounding out your top 3. So Pit Bike 3 was stacked. Pit Bike 1 was stacked. So I have to say that the people in Pit Bike Group number 2, not to say that they're not slow, they just lucked out.
Yeah.
I mean, because that I'll slide on in there. He hates it. Because them other two, like you said, that's some big name guys. You know, man,
Absolutely.
In the pit bike world.
Pit Bike 12-inch, Nick Peters. Tucker Hake, he's pretty fun to watch because he's out there on the XR70.
Yep.
Yes, he is. I forgot about it.
it's
It's sweet. It's old school.
It's not an XR70. There's no way. It's based on an XR70, but
Yeah,
the
but
motor.
it's got XR70 frame.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
about it. XR70 frame and wheels.
Sounds well when he fires off the line.
Nick Peters is able to take the main event win in the Pit Bike 12-inch
They'll be
Group
doing the
1.
rev up, you know what I'm saying, and then drop the foot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they take off the gate, it's hilarious to watch these dudes
It's just
go.
crazy. We get riders coming from Michigan, New York, California, Ohio, Pennsylvania. It's just absolutely crazy the riders that come out here to race these pit bikes at
Well,
Summit.
On their groups on Facebook, I mean, it is the biggest talked event
Yeah.
that I see on there.
Yes.
And probably
New
across
Jersey.
the nation now.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Maryland, some riders coming across the country just to race and have some fun indoors. And in the money class, that's where it all matters. In the Pit Bike Open money class, we have
That's it, too. That's where I mean, they'd be banging bars in this one.
2 wholesale cycle piranhas taking the top 2 spots. Zach Ames first, Mike McDade second, and one of those TCB machines, McCoy Shine. great results 2 nights in a row. First on Friday, third place on Saturday night for McCoy Shine. Huge shout out.
Cool name too.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name.
McCoy Shine.
Shout out Cameron Gooding, the rider coming out of Sycamore, Ohio, on that BBR perimeter framed KLX 110.
Arden Briggs build.
Yes. He
That
can
thing
build
is
a bike.
sweet.
Yeah.
That thing's legit. Wait
Yeah.
till you see the vlog. I got something sweet with Cameron Gooding in the vlog.
Nice.
It's legit.
Cause that little bike is just nasty, dude.
Oh,
it's
it's
like a
so
little,
much fun to
it's
race
like a little
and
super
watch.
Honda pit bike.
It's
That's
awesome.
what it looks like. Yeah.
That's really about That's it from Summit. It was a killer turnout. Nearly 1,000 riders.
I'm glad round 2's over. That means spring's coming.
Yes, outdoors. We're
Yep.
we're going riding outdoors sometime soon.
I hope.
We're marking the calendar for from this weekend right here.
That's it. That'll be sweet.
We'll announce that at some point in time.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
But that pretty much wraps up Summit for us. Before we get transitioning into the pro race recap from over the weekend and some of the upcoming stuff, let's recap on some of the Facebook comments that we got going on. Jordan Beeling has been keeping up with all the Facebook comments, and Ronnie Farmer, promoter of the Tri-State Arena Cross Series, has commented in, and he has said that they are getting a round of the Tri-State Arena Cross at Charleston, West Virginia.
Yep.
Charleston, West Virginia is not that far. It's just a quick drive down 77. Like
Not too
it's
far, no.
like less than 3 hours from here. Like
So,
it's
shouldn't
not
be
that
too
far.
bad. Right.
It is really just a quick jaunt
Very
down
doable.
77. Very, very doable for all the riders up around this area to make the way down there. And even if you're like Pennsylvania, Central Ohio, Northwestern Ohio, it's really not that far to race inside for some of these legit arena crosses. So thank you, Ronnie Farmer, for bringing things more local for the Ohio riders and expanding the turnouts. I'm hoping to get some very good things for you guys going this upcoming year for the Tri-State Arena Cross Series. They have 2 races at the All-Tech Arena at the Lexington Horse Park scheduled for next year, so that is a killer arena. Like, that is definitely one to add to your list because that thing's
You were saying it was pretty good size.
nearly the size of a football field.
I'm excited to go try that out too.
So he's
Donnie builds the tracks in there too.
Donnie Adams, Motivated MX, Club MX track worker, builds all the tracks for Ronnie Farmer in the Tri-State Arena Cross Series, so it is a legit
dude.
track builder.
He's got it going on.
Yeah, he's definitely got it going
is a badass.
on. 2 races in Lexington, Kentucky next year, 1 race in Huntington, West Virginia, 1 race in Salem, Virginia, and just announced Charleston, West Virginia Tri-State Arena Cross Series. That's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
So what else we got going on, Jordan?
Steve Lung said it was his son's first big event. Finished 6th in the 50 junior class at only 4 years old.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a little 4-year-old rider. That's killer coming out here to race your first big race ever and
I was like my nephew's last year.
inside the top
was
10.
Yeah.
6th.
Yeah, I thought you said 6th.
in the
That's
50
just out of the
junior.
top 5. That's awesome.
That's not bad in the 50 junior
Yeah,
class.
finished
at that.
6th in the 50 junior class.
Because that
Awesome.
class is moving, and that's great to see the young riders really coming into the sport and attacking it.
Absolutely.
And then we
go
got
ahead, boys.
Aaron Mitten saying hi guys from Mitten Cycle, so they're listening in.
Mitten Cycle.
So, Minton Cycle.
We are supporters of Mitten Cycle. We like to see Carson, Cameron, and Drew racing. And shout out Drew and Carson
Racing
and
out
Cameron.
south.
They race some tri-state races. So thank you for spreading the word of Mitten Cycle and Cobra Motorcycle. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Transitioning into some more great stuff.
We got it coming up.
Yes, we are going to recap real quick on some of the Monster Energy Pro Supercross stuff real quick.
That's it.
Most of you guys have already raced this stuff, so we're just going to be, just touching base on some of the results in case you guys haven't seen anything. In the 250 class, I was pretty impressed to see Shane McElrath being your number 1 qualifier with a 45.4 lap time.
See, it doesn't wow me too much because that Yamaha team's got it going on.
I mean, that
They got
is
them 250s dialed in. They have for 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
nearly a second faster than Chase Sexton, who is your number 2 qualifier in that 250 class. So
moving, man.
that is moving. And not only is a 45.4 fast in the 250 class, a 45.4 is fast in the 450 class as well, because
Who's
your
the
fastest qualifier was Josh Hill with a 45.9. So your fastest qualifier overall was a 250F rider. And the last time you were in the studio,
Yeah,
Jordan,
2
it was
weeks ago.
Dylan
Same
Ferrandis was the fastest rider. We never checked last week, Kevin.
See, it's
so
definitely happening because
that's our
the
fault.
track's just breaking down so fast. Like he probably set that time like second
Early.
or third lap, fourth lap.
Yep.
And
Early
just
in the
it's
time
smooth. There
qualifying
we ain't got no
sessions, yeah.
chatter or nothing yet, and he just hit everything. Just
Very good
He just
point.
did it perfect. You know what I mean? And that's happens because that's Shane McElrath. He definitely has that in him. He's got a perfect lap in him somewhere.
Yes, that's one of those
Dude-
monster Yamahas.
Dude's
Coming,
an OG. You know what I mean? He's a veteran.
he is
I mean,
coming
he's,
off of one of those rocks, or Troy Lee Designs
KTM.
Red Bull KTM's. Chase Sexton, number 2 qualifier. Jeremy Martin, number 3 qualifier.
J. Mart.
Let's transition over to some 250 results, overall results. There we go. Chase Sexton was able to have the best Triple Crown overall. The rider coming out of Illinois with 2-1-2.
That's a great way to stay right
Yes.
up there and keep consistent like that. That was a good smart play.
From an outsider looking in, Shane McElrath's 3-2-1 could have and possibly should have taken the overall for the weekend in that Triple Crown Series format, but Chase Sexton, second place in that first moto, was just better than
You
McElrath.
definitely know that last moto whenever Chase got into second place, he just settled it. I mean, he was
Yeah,
just
he knew
settled
how
it.
to- he knew
Yes,
how to
McElrath
make that
would be
point.
out front with that 6 points. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He knows he's got him.
Yep. And RJ Hampshire,
Solid rider. Man.
solid ride. He was very aggressive, to say the least, moving
Yeah.
onto that Husqvarna team.
That Moto 1.
He knew where he wanted to be, and he wasn't afraid to stick up them elbows.
Yeah.
No?
You ain't getting past my elbows.
Yeah, I guess so.
And-
Yeah, I didn't get to watch much of it, but
Like
that's
some
what
of the
I've heard.
turns, RJ Hampshire was very defensive and very offensive in some cases. And
Yes, he was.
he was able to take the first main event win, 6th place in main event number 2. Didn't he find himself on the dirt in one of those?
I think that's where he got his 6. I think he
Okay.
wrecked.
I'm pretty sure I did remember seeing him on the dirt at one point in time, being aggressive as a result of being aggressive. Jeremy Martin rounding out your top 4. Garrett Marchbanks on that KX250F Pro Circuit rider rounding out your top 5. Joey Crown. I have to give a huge shout out to Joey Crown. I seen him race in Pikeville, Kentucky for one of the tri-state races, and he was the number 2 finishing Club MX rider. You were talking about this before we got started, Jordan.
Yeah, Club MX, I mean, their Yamaha team has definitely got it going on this
They do.
year. 6th, 7th, 8th. And
Yes. One of
the
those.
results. And they're sitting... They're
Josh
all
Hill's
three-
part of it too, correct?
Yes.
They're all
That's what I
3
thought.
in the top 11 in the points so far this year.
I'm
So
pretty
great job for them. That's a great facility and a great pumping out some great riders. I mean,
I'm pretty sure Josh Hill is kind of like on a. It's kind of like on one of those floating middle ground teams. He's not quite 100% Club MX team. He's not quite 100% Monster Energy Yamaha team.
No,
because
it's-
he's both.
It's
correct.
They're
No, I
trained
understand.
riders, I guess.
Yes.
yeah, no, and,
So-
and you know Yamaha's helping Josh. You
But
know,
if-
for him to step back with a name like that and doing as good as he's doing, he's creating a lot of hype for those guys, and he's really doing a good job.
If you look at Josh Hill's bike versus Joey Crown's or Enzo Lope's bike, and then look at Josh Hill's bike versus Shane McElrath's bike, it is like I'm riding for Team Club MX Monster Energy Yamaha.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
a
riding.
mixture of both.
It's a mixture of both. He's that guy.
Yeah.
He's that rider that's kind of floating in between. And huge shout out to him, not racing a professional 250 class race in like 12 years.
Yeah, 12,
coming into
13
last week,
years.
and he's getting some good results. He's not
is.
getting, I
Doing
think,
fine.
exactly what he's hoping for, but he's getting there. And it's got
No, I think that's just everything he is hoping for. I think he's right I think he's right in the wheelhouse where he should be. He knows he's not going to go out there and dance with the top 3 right off the start. So I think being
End of
inside
the
the
year?
top 10 in the year, he says yes. Yes, in the shootouts,
Yeah.
he wants to go play with Ferrandis and some stuff like that.
Ooh, yeah,
he's
that'd
gonna have a good
be cool.
time there, but he's just getting his feet wet. You know, like I
He's getting
feel
back
it.
into the groove. He
I
hasn't even
felt
raced
it
for
too.
how
Like
long.
when I did it at Summit, you know, just the starts and everything. It's just so much. Everything's moving at such a faster pace. Like holy cow, we're not playing riding at Dade City or something. Probably what he's been doing.
Yeah.
You know, I was just riding just vet classes and stuff, and then it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Gate drops.
gate drops.
Big difference.
Gate drops, gate drops, gate
Big
drops.
difference from just going out and riding fast laps.
Yeah.
And nothing's on the line. It doesn't matter, So then it matters. So I think he's doing a really good job.
Let's transition over here to the 450 class.
Kofi.
We already mentioned Josh Hill was your number 1 qualifier over Eli Tomac. Justin Hill, excuse me. Justin Hill was your number 1 qualifier. Thank you, Jordan. Over Eli Tomac and Martin Davalos. huge shout out to him, man. He's looking really good on this 450.
What a dynamic duo brotherhood, the Hill boys, man. Really just laying it down.
Yeah.
Being like some, you know what I mean? Kind of like some Alessi brothers back in the day.
Martin Davalos is looking very, very impressive on this 450.
He is a veteran. That's what I try to tell. I mean, so many people.
You were telling us.
I'm like, dude, he's been on the 250 having so much success. The 450 is so much fun to ride after you've rode the 250 for that long.
You could argue Martin Davalos' success because he hasn't really been a quote title contender for the pro circuit team that he was riding for in the past, and
feel like
he's been a member of the team, in my opinion.
Anytime that someone was to get hurt,
guy.
you know, and Mitch Payton is to call you up, you know what I'm saying? Just come ride for us. That's just, I feel like that's just, you've won.
Oh, absolutely. You haven't lost if Mitch gives you the call.
Oh, just come on over and ride for us. Yeah, your locker's still set up. Don't worry, bud. Just go on back to the back.
I mean, if you got that call, that's
slick, man. You're winning. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. He always had that opening. You know, any time, you know what I mean, it popped off. He was there. I bet now that with Cincerillo's being busted, Mitch's like, damn, I'd have put him in there. I'd have had him on there. You know what I mean? For sure they would have. But
Cooper Webb was your number 4 qualifier, and Jason Anderson,
J-Dog,
rounding out your top 5 in the qualifying
He's
times.
slowly becoming one of my favorite riders.
He is. I told you a couple of weeks ago. I told you earlier in season 2 of the MotOHIO show that Jason Anderson is going to be the fastest white or orange bike come the end of the season. He's going to be the number 1. He's going to be the highest points finisher. I'm saying that now. You put a pin in it now again. It's going to be Jason Anderson over Cooper Webb come the end of the season.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, now he's definitely got an advantage because
Cooper was a little bit bummed up.
Yeah.
But he's going to be racing this weekend.
Yeah.
That's what you said. That's what you've seen.
That's what this.
So Cooper isn't injured. He's just banged up.
Yeah.
So Cooper Webb had a nasty get off in main event number 3. Let's see some of his results. 2:17:20. So even moto number 2 wasn't so good for Cooper Webb. I don't remember exactly what happened in main event number 2, but I didn't.
No, main event 2 is when he wrecked.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Then that would ensue him getting a DNS there for a 20th place position.
Yep.
Okay, makes sense. Cooper Webb crashed up main event number 2. Main event results 5-1-1. We were talking about this the other night, you and I, Kevin, that Eli Tomac coming into main event number 2 sitting 5th with the first moto finish.
Really throwing your psyche off, man. It would just really have to play havoc because, like he said, like even in the press release, like in the press conference we was watching, and, just watching Ken win the first one. That's your rival pretty much. I don't care if you guys are, cool with each other or not. That's your 2 title contenders right now.
You get if you got, which he did, a 5th in the first moto, and Ken Roczen won the first moto, even if Ken Roczen finishes behind you, motos 2 and 3, you still lose.
Right.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So with how it worked out, man, he really got lucky.
He got very lucky.
I mean, well, that's what you had to do for motos 2 and 3 is win out.
That's what you had to do.
You just have no other choice.
And Ken
there's
Roczen,
no second place, there's no third place. Then you have won once, so that you have the lowest number you can get.
Roczen did what he had to do in the 3rd main event, but Tomac did as well. Tomac bested him.
Tomac won with points to spare, dude.
Oh yeah, just a couple.
7,
just a
10.
couple.
Yeah, but there's 3 positions there. 3 different, 3 different scenarios, but to still only have a 7 and then second place be at 10, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like a lot of jumping around, a lot of fluctuation. You know what I'm saying?
Very
Cooper
much so.
crashing and stuff that made it a whole different ball game.
Jason Anderson 3.25 results puts him on the podium ahead of
you got
Justin
Justin Hill down here on the podium, and he's finished in 6th in the second moto. People were jumping around so much that it was just.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
your fastest qualifier outside of the top 5 for the main event.
Right.
Absolutely insane.
It's nuts, man.
Huge shout out to the Levi Kilbarger trained rider coming. Justin Barsha.
Bam, bam.
4.54 results for the number 4 finishing position ahead of Zach Osborne 7.43 for the number 5 spot.
Right.
So awesome, awesome. It's awesome watching the pros ride. It's awesome watching the locals ride. I had a ton of fun this past weekend at Summit. I have a lot of fun planned coming up this weekend.
For sure.
And anything else going on social media we got to talk about?
Ronnie Farmer just said great job, guys.
Welcome, Mr. Farmer.
Appreciate it, Mr. Farmer. We look forward to it, man. We're going to be down. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of the Tri-State Arena.
I'm gonna
Cross
be at a
Series.
lot more of the Tri-State races next year, trying to get a little bit more of a crowd. You know what I'm saying, to follow us around, and it should be a good time.
Coming up this weekend, upcoming races, we're going to start touching base on some of those. Route 62 MX Park has their final youth race coming up this weekend.
Yep.
So I am stoked to go down there. I'm pretty sure that my oldest stepdaughter's going to go down there and spin some laps. So
Cool, man.
I'm really excited about that because there's a 50cc beginner class. She's out there on a stock 50cc bike, so I'm going to probably let her race in that one on Sunday. So
That'd be a good time.
I am stoked to go down there to Route 62 MX Park. I want to have the Flow Vision tent all set up. I'm going to have the MotOHIO show booth all set up. I want to be cranking jams inside the pit area, doing some podium interviews with the top finishers, thanking their sponsors. And I'm pretty sure that Jimmy even has a, quote, dad's class racing.
I think I seen that.
did see that,
I seen
yeah.
a post
So that'll
for
be
that,
pretty
too.
cool. Some of the dads coming out here to race, I'm not sure.
Jump on one of your child's bikes and have at it.
Rip it.
Yep.
So there'll be a lot of fun this weekend at Summit Indoors, or not Summit, excuse me, Route 62 Indoors for their final indoor series race. Stoked to go out there March 1st. Looks like gates open 8:30 a.m. Practice starts at 10, and racing immediately follows practice with a Strider race in the afternoon after the main events are done. It says around 3:30, but I'm sure that could go plus or minus, 10 or 15 minutes.
Either
here or
way, and you guys will be there. You'll see what's going on.
there. Huge shout out. $5 to get in.
That's not bad.
Not bad to get in, and the racers are free. No admission for riders. That's awesome.
cool.
So Jimmy's trying to get the turnouts. I'm stoked to go on this Route 62 this
It's
year.
good for the little guys right here. This is a good track for just a
Yes.
smaller venue of riders.
This track is good for the mini riders, like we just said, all the way up to about super mini riders, which he has classes for. But it is also great for pit bikes. It's a great track for them little pit bike machines.
Yeah.
And they have their final pit bike bash coming up on March 8th. It'll be a week after the final mini indoor
mini race for the kids and for your dads and stuff. And then the very following weekend, Jimmy's having that pit bike bash that we went to before, and it was a really good time.
It was a great time. I'm stoked to go down there for the final pit bike race.
Pit bike racers down there.
Yeah, Cameron Gooding goes down there to race. Bailey Lunsford goes down there to race. Some of the top finishers from Summer of the weekend.
And stuff. Yeah, a lot of guys were there.
So if you guys are wanting to, put some air back around those fins on those air-cooled machines, come race a 62
air
and
around the fins.
I like that. That was good.
I just kind of pulled that one out. I was going nowhere at the start. I just kind of made it happen at the end.
That's an announcer coming out right there. I like it.
Once again, the final Route 62 kids race coming up this Sunday, March the 1st. Gates open 8:30. Practice at 10. Racing immediately following. The next Sunday on the 8th. Same deal. Same times.
That's it.
As gates open 8:30, practice starts at 10 for the final pit bike race, and then racing immediately follows. So it's going to be a fun Sunday morning, early afternoon. Go down there, have some fun racing indoors.
Do some shredding.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure that Jimmy possibly has practice going on Saturdays leading up to these races.
Okay.
So if you guys want to get some extra seat time, check the Route 62 Facebook page to see if they're open. I'm not going to say because I don't want to get in trouble, but that'd be your best place to go and see if you can get some extra time.
Right.
So we'll go from there. And actually, we'll just scroll down here. Does it say? Looks like Jimmy's been doing some work outside for the pit area, so that's awesome. I did talk to Jimmy when I went down there for his indoor race for the pit bike bash, that if you pull into 62 from years past, thinking it was little parking, Jimmy now has the whole right side of the facility, all the way out to the tree line. He has, in essence, doubled, if not tripled, his parking for his outdoor races.
Cool.
So he can
Well, with them getting added to the OMA schedule, I'm sure he was just feeling that was a necessity for the season.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he's got it's like indoor practice over this past weekend. I'm still trying to see if Saturday 11 to 4 practice. Jimmy's got some practice going on tonight up until about an hour and a half from now. Practice tomorrow from 4 to 8:30. So if you guys want to get some practice down at Route 62, it looks like he's got practice going on tomorrow afternoon.
Well, Brop Skidley.
And then Saturday 11 to 4. So there you go.
Man. Get her done.
And wrapping up with some upcoming races, Switchback MX 2020 Arena Cross Series, March the 7th. They are racing on Saturday. Sign-ups at 10, practice at noon, heat races at 2, with the main event starting at 6. And I will be there on March 7th for the final switchback race.
Might have to throw my bike in his van and head out with him.
Maybe me do the same.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do the same.
My van at 25 mile an hour ain't gonna make it there.
My van.
We're just gonna leave now. You know what I mean? We just leave now. We'll be there in plenty of time.
I will say that my van officially fits 3 full-size bikes and all the FlowVision gear, and enough stuff for people for the weekend. So,
yeah, dude, we'll get.
You can race, I can race, you can race, we can all race.
Wait, did you just say he's racing?
Yeah.
Hey.
we went through this with Summit, didn't we?
He always gets so silly.
I know.
With
I need
that
I
race word. You know, he always gets silly with that race word. I know how to work on a microphone.
I appreciate that. I might take you up on that.
Yeah, buddy.
Should we hold off on this topic until a later date, or should we hit on it?
I say we just hold off because we won't really have enough time.
Right, because we're already an hour and 5 minutes into the recording, so we're about at showtime now.
Don't forget to get, you know what I'm saying, to this last one. It should be a really good time. It looks like they redid some stuff at the track. Like I seen another little couple of videos of the track. It looks a lot of fun.
See, I haven't seen
6 lanes.
Yeah, with like a little dog leg in it too. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good layout. I'm stoked about the switchback for the final race. Anything else going on the social media world?
The Mead.
Are you on the MotOHIO show's feed of it, or are you on the Everett 328 Productions feed?
Everett 328. Let's go check the other one.
Okay. Just hang with us. We've got some more great upcoming races scheduled for the 2020 season. The outdoor season's kicking off.
March 29th is the first Malvern.
March 29th, first Malvern race. Thank you, Kevin. So
no problem.
That is coming up.
I'm not looking forward to it or nothing. I'm so ready to ride outdoors, man. It's so much fun. I'm just the indoors and the 450 is just whoo.
Oh, I see that Kevin's having pizza for dinner, so we're all going to Kevin's house after this.
Yes, thanks, babe.
We're packing up and heading to the old Kevin.
Invited for the PBB.
Anything else?
Asking if we're coming out to the first race at Route 62 on April 19th.
Let me double check some things. On my schedule, April 19th. I have got that on my schedule, so I will be at Route 62 on that Sunday race for their first day race. For their first day race.
Outdoor race.
So there we go. It's on my schedule. So if it's on my schedule, that's where I'm going to be. I'm a man of my word. That's where I'm going to be. So I'll be at 62 on that date.
See, and what I'm happy is the True MX Night Series is there, and a couple other races. You know what I mean? So it's kind of splitting it up off of Malvern. It's going to be a good time to get some points for them.
I was paying attention to some Facebook comments.
Represent some stuff.
Whenever the schedule was, whenever I was paying attention to some Facebook comments when the schedule was released for the OMA, and there was some flack, we'll say, that Malvern wasn't the sole track for the True MX Saturday Night Series. And my defense is Malvern's not known for a night series solely. Malvern's just known to race at night because they have the lights and stuff like that.
And they do that, and they've been doing it, and all it does is just pretty much accommodate the working racer. You know what I mean? And
it
really
gives you a chance that you can go ride somewhere on Sunday, too.
Yes, and it's not to say that Malvern is known for strictly having a night series. Malvern has just been the only track to have night series races.
Yeah, the only other track that I know of around is Tuning. And
it has CRA. Yeah. And who's racing? I'm not racing a whole lot of CRA races. There's not even really that many CRA motocross races.
Tuning's the only track on the motocross schedule for them.
Wow. Skyview, maybe? Skyview. Okay. Skyview's pretty cool. It's not bad.
Chase straightened it out. I bet it's really neat. Chase Catneys went and redid it all last season.
Catneys excavating.
Could be some decent stuff out there now. I don't know.
I'm stoked for the 2020 season. I've got some places I'm going. And we've got some people that we're getting on board. We've got FlowVision, helping us out with some stuff here and there. And
ANY Sierra Yoho and stuff's gonna.
She'll be an official partner of the MotOHIO show here very soon.
It's gonna be sweet.
And we're seeking more partners and more sponsors. So if you or anybody knows if anybody has a small company or small business that you're trying to get some more promotion for, send us an email at Everett 328 Productions. Check us out on our website, Everett328productions.com, or log on our Facebook pages. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down in that corner. Hit the subscribe button in that corner. Give our video a thumbs up. Drop us a comment whenever it gets on YouTube. And it helps out with the Facebook and helps out with the YouTube algorithms. It really helps us out. We're trying to get more subscribers and more followers.
One over there.
that corner, Kevin's
Yeah,
corner. Make sure you hit the
that
subscribe
corner.
button so you can stay up to date and know when we post all of our videos. I should
hungry
have
now.
the Summit MX
Red
vlog
Days.
coming up very soon, and I still have the Tri-State Salem vlog in my back pocket that I'm still tinkering with. I'm still working with that one. So stay tuned
The
to.
Summit vlog, bud.
I got that one working on it. I'm working on the Summit vlog. Hopefully, I'll have that one posted by Friday.
Yeah, but
He's
you
got
said the
two.
Tri-State vlog.
I still have that one in my back pocket too. I'm working on that one. The
I thought we
Salem.
had one of those up.
We did. I got the Salem one too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Salem.
I still have that one. So I'm still working
Sweet.
on some stuff for the Grip It Media page. Make sure, Grip It Media. Make sure you subscribe.
Grip It.
Grip It Media. We
Like
got
it.
Grip It Media, or Grip It Rip It Kevin Ott with us
That's
here in the
us.
studio. Jordan Beeling, glad you could join us. That pretty much wraps it up. You guys got anything else?
No, just
Oh,
thanks
yeah.
again for the invite.
We
yeah.
didn't forget about flags. We did not forget about flags. We're just getting to the end of the show, and
We'll have something for next time.
Yeah,
we-
because you don't have much to talk about for next week.
that's
Right.
that's not to say that Raw 62.
Well, Raw 62. and
We've got that,
Supercross,
but it's not going to take up as much time as Summit did this week. So we're putting a pin in flags. We're going to talk about flags next week.
Sweet.
So make sure you join us
Thanks,
next
everyone.
week for Moto number 7 of the MotOHIO show. Glad you guys could join us in the Ever 328 production studios. Make sure you join us next week.
Vlog out. I love vlog out.